military and diplomacy are two opposite terms that can be used interchangeably. I think what South Africa was trying to do is that since they did the same with the United States, they felt that in order for them to balance their act, they will also do the military drills with both China and Russia. But again, many people are arguing. We've never had this in the past. Maybe it was done, but it didn't catch the limelight that it has done right now. And I think maybe also at the same time, South Africa is trying to show its muscle as it continues to engage in Cabo Delgado in Mozambique, together with Rwanda. South Africa leading, of course, the Southern African Development, SABC, in that part of the world. So we'll have to see what happens afterwards. But I'm still of the view that we're entering a very dangerous phase henceforth, and for us to, at this point in time, to be demonstrating and exhibiting our military power, I'm not quite sure whether it's a good thing to do, given South Africa's reputation in the world as a country of negotiators and a country that pushes negotiation and diplomacy over military intervention.
And it's very interesting because obviously your views differ greatly from a peace and security expert that we spoke to on the program, I think it was yesterday, who was speaking not only about South Africa's sovereignty, how many other Western countries engage in the same types of exchanges, the fact that we have seen a flurry of diplomatic visits, bilateral, regional, multilateral visits to South Africa. We've heard that European high officials also seeking to do the same. So which line exactly is correct, and from whose view for South Africa to toe?
Well, it's a very difficult one, actually, to comment on, because, one, South Africa is no longer a main manufacturer of arms. One would have thought that this was because it is trying to market certain type of arms to the globe, but we are no longer a prominent manufacturer of arms, since Denel is struggling at the moment. So one wonders why are we suddenly so keen in having these military drills? It's going to be 4 military drills if the Europeans also do want us to participate. And we are told by Minister Pandor that this is something that's commonly done by friendly nations, but we know a lot of nations around the world who do not do this all the time. One. Two is, with Russia, it happens, right in the middle of the anniversary of its invasion of Ukraine. Then you have Russia coming to South Africa, having these military drills. For me, diplomatically and otherwise, it did not sound correct, nor was appropriate for South Africa to have engaged in such an action, given that Ukraine continues.
And this is what I'm trying to understand from your point of view, Stay. When we talk about moral correctitude, when we talk about strategic importance, from whose prism are we looking at, and what posture is South Africa expected to adopt when it's in conversation with China, it's in conversation with Europe, it's in conversation with America? And South Africa argues very valiantly so that these conversations are pretty much along the same lines, that its non-alignment remains, that the principle of ensuring more sustainable conflict resolution and management is foremost on its mind. Which parameters are correct?
Well, you broke for a while, but I think I got the question. I think South Africa has all the years punched way above its weight, and South Africa has dictated its own reputation and what it wants to be known for. So for us this time around to be wanting to succumb to pressures, whether from China, Russia, or the United States, in terms of us starting a new culture when having these powerful countries visiting our shores, I still maintain that it's troubling, and we're entering a different terrain which could backlash against us, particularly given that we have insurgencies happening in Mozambique, etc. So South Africa might be expected in the future to enter into these military conflicts, and I'm not sure whether we're ready to do that. from which prism, I think we have always, as I've said earlier on, dictated our own destiny, and we've always insisted on our own ways of politicking, and I think we should continue doing the same.